second position is because
Here's the Republican proposal.
we have a lot of Republicans here.
First of all, universal background checks. Require completion of a national criminal background check in order to purchase a firearm in Connecticut. Eligibility certificate, including fingerprints and completion of a firearm safety course to purchase any long gun. Require possession of an eligibility certificate, so as opposed to a permit, in order to purchase a long gun from any retail or private seller. Such eligibility certificate shall include a photograph of the holder of the certificate and indicate that the holder has passed a national criminal background check and fingerprinted and successfully completed a firearm safety course.
Am I allowed to interrupt?
Well, let me go through them and everyone can jump in. Increase the purchase age to 21 for certain long guns. Amend section 29-36F of the general statutes to require persons to be 21 or older in order to purchase a center fire rifle that accepts a magazine with capacity exceeding 10 rounds. This provision shall not apply to persons serving in the military or naval forces of the state of the United States and parallels the age restrictions on handgun purchases. Increase requirements to purchase ammunition and magazines. Require possession of an eligibility certificate, pistol permit, or Connecticut hunting license in order to purchase ammunition or detachable ammunition magazines of any size. Prohibit persons ineligible to possess firearms from purchasing ammunition or detachable ammunition magazines. Safeguard extended to internet sales. Require for the purchase of long guns or ammunition over the internet, a buyer shall provide evidence to the seller that he is eligible to purchase long guns or ammunition. Reconstitute the Firearms Examiners Board. Amend section 29-32B of the general statutes to add one member who shall be a mental health professional to the Board of Firearm Permit Examiners to replace one public member of the board. Stricter mental health lookbacks. Increase the look back on pistol permits and eligibility certificates for involuntary psychiatric inpatient treatment of at least 30 days to 1 to 5 years. Add voluntary commitments of at least 30 days and emergency certification of admissions of at least 15 days. Expand safe storage. Amend section 29-37I of the general statutes to prohibit persons from storing or keeping any firearm or on any premise under his control if he knows or should reasonably know that a person who is mentally defective, is a subject of a restraining order, or subject of a gun forfeiture order, is convicted of a felon, or anyone else prohibited from owning a gun, and is likely to gain access to the firearm unless the firearm is kept securely in a locked box or other secure container. The firearm is carried on the person to whom the firearm belongs to, or within close proximity thereto, and can be readily retrieved by such person. Prohibition of applications for permits to carry a pistol or pistol from any jurisdiction other than the applicant's residence. I guess you can get one from your business or your residence, I'm not quite sure. But amend section 29-28B of the general statutes to require that applications for a temporary state permit to carry a pistol or revolver be made in the jurisdiction that the bona fide residence of the applicant. No early release for gun crimes. Amend section 18-98E of the general statutes to prohibit persons who have been convicted of violent crimes that were committed with a firearm from participating in the Earned Risk Reduction Credit Program. A statewide deadly weapon offender registry. Amend the general statutes to establish a registry through the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection that shall contain the names of persons who have been convicted of any felonies, committed with a deadly weapon, or have been convicted of felony crimes that violate Connecticut firearm laws. Names shall remain on the list for 5 years following the conviction. Only law enforcement officials shall have access to such a list, and the list shall not be available to the public through the Freedom of Information Act. Require permits for gun shows. Amend the general statutes to require gun show promoters obtain a permit from the local police chief or chief elected official prior to holding a gun show within a municipality. Ban the sale of armor-piercing and incendiary bullets. Amend the general statutes to ban all bullets that are specifically designed to be armor-piercing or incendiary, regardless of caliber. Reconstitute the statewide firearms trafficking task force. Reconstitute and provide $1 million in funding for that task force. That's something we cut out of the Appropriations Committee, I think, last year. Increase penalties for firearms trafficking and straw purchasing. Amend the general statutes to increase the penalty to knowingly sell or otherwise transfer a pistol or revolver to someone that transfer knows has reason to believe is prohibited from owning a firearm under state law or federal law, Class B felony, all violations, and to include trafficking of rifles, shotguns, prohibited persons to eliminate their current exemption, require a 3-year mandatory minimum, $10,000 fine for all violations. Increase the penalty for stealing a firearm to a D felony and require a 2-year mandatory minimum, $5,000 fine for all violations. Increase the penalty on both the transferor and transferee for the illegal sale or transfer of a pistol or revolver to a Class D felony. Increase the penalty for selling, delivering, or otherwise transferring a pistol or revolver to a person the transformer knows, has reason to know, is prohibited from owning a firearm as a Class B felony and require a 3-year mandatory minimum and $10,000 fine for all violations. Increase the penalty for knowingly making a false statement or providing false information regarding a pistol or revolver application to a Class C felony and require a minimum fine and $3,000 fine or violation. There's more if you want me to read through these.
I should like to read the other side.
The other side is much worse. The other side, they want to expand the definition of an assault weapon. I believe right now it's 2 characteristics. They want to make it 1. Ban large capacity magazines, require a permit to purchase a rifle or shotgun, require universal background checks, and DESP, which is public safety, I believe. Approval for every sale and transfer of a firearm, including the private sale or transfer of a rifle or shotgun. Require for the purchase of any ammunition presentation of either a permit to carry a pistol or revolver to the new rifle or shotgun permit. Establish a statewide deadly weapon offender registry. Strengthen laws regarding firearm trafficking and straw purchases. Prohibit individuals from purchasing more than 1 pistol or revolver within a 30-day period. Expand the scope and strengthen penalties under 53-202AA for firearms trafficking, including imposing a mandatory minimum fine of $10,000. Increase the penalty for stealing a firearm to Class C felony. Amend to increase penalty on both the transfer or transferee sale of a pistol or revolver in violation of the provision of Class C felony up to a Class D. Mandatory minimum sentence. Impose a mandatory minimum sentence of 3 years in prison and a mandatory minimum $10,000 fine for any violation of the subsection, which fine cannot be reduced or remitted unless the court affirmatively states on the record reasons therefor. Increase the penalty for making a false statement. Increase the penalty for alteration of a firearm, including the identification number. Increase the penalty for failure to surrender a permit to carry a pistol or revolver within 5 days after it's been revoked. Amend to increase the penalty for failure to surrender an eligibility